Hey y'all, we're gonna try to make something, but not that, because I've already ruined this. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We're gonna try again is what we're gonna do, and you're gonna learn from my mistakes. See how bendy and floppy it is, and see how this ain't. I mean, you can bend it, but it's stiff like it should be. But right, and it looks like the original fabric, pretty much. Right here. And you remember, I'm learning with my lint trap mannequin. I put that thick stuff on it, and it never hardened up after that, right? And so I'm thinking, whatever absorbs into the fabric, that's as hard as it's gonna get. Anything you put on top is just extra weight on top of that fabric, and it just ain't gonna work. I'll try to do something with this. And one problem is her neck's bent up on the plastic, and so I'm thinking, because see how I'd cut this and where I could fold it down and all, I'm thinking I may take a heat gun and try to flatten it before I attempt this the right way. Okay, so here we go. I put probably 60-40 mix of glue and water, probably, you know, the 60 being the glue. And it's, I'm forgetting I'm having to show everything again since I messed up my first video. It's that kind of glue. And I use that kind instead of the school glue because I think it'll be more waterproof. I hope I got enough in here because I'm out of wood glue. And you cannot mix wood glue and school glue. It does something very, very strange. It turns into a bunch of little snot boogers or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to have to add more water. Okay. Because I'm out of wood glue, it's probably more of a 50-50 mix. Gotta make sure it gets all the fabric wet, because the dry spot, you know, it's just gonna be like fabric. I have to actually add a little more water. I hope this will work out. I got a different kind of wood glue. I might try some of it, and hopefully it don't have a weird reaction. And we won't tell Matt because this is expensive. It's more expensive than the other one. At least I think that's the one. We'll never get that lid back off. Let me go add some more water. No. If this one don't work, I'm going to be losing patience. I already have. I'm just having to hide it. But really, if you want to experiment and create your own ideas, you just gotta have patience. And then, like that old floppy one, I ain't gonna throw it away. I'll figure something out, I guess. I'll try to, anyhow. Okay. I think I'm gonna give it a good squeeze. And then re-dip it just to be on the safe side. I don't know if it'd do better if you didn't wring it out, because, well, I think it's mainly the glue that's in the fibers is what counts. So I'll give it a gentle wringing, because there's a lot of glue going in there. You know what? I'm just gonna wring it out because you remember the well, no, you don't remember because I ain't putting that up. I had a very drippy mess because I took it outside to dry some, and I dripped this stuff all through the house. Hopefully it'll work. And I'm gonna put the lid on my coffee can and save that for those little mannequin dresses or whatever. So here we go. Let's see if it's in the camera. Yep. Ugh. There must be some glue that dried in the bottom. Looks orange. It just don't seem to have enough stuff on it. I don't know. Pink fuzz. Now the thing about taking them outside, you might catch a, you know, I should have cut it to where I didn't cut it to go up there, I cut it to go below. Oh man, would you look at that? Right, glue. Maybe that's that other kind of glue. It is darker. I'm gonna work my fabric in it some more. See if I can get these dark colors out. Goodness gracious. Oh, I forgot too last time. I had the boxes protected in a plastic bag, but I had got these at Dollar General for 50% off. So they were $4. And they got a timer. They stay on 4 hours, I guess. But they're scented. Why does everything have to be scented? So they'll be good with stuff that I make to sell, because I ain't using them in the house with that scent on them. So let's get everything centered up. Oh, and I took so much time on that other one. I was so picky about having everything just perfect. I gotta quit doing that. You know, it just takes too much time. Okay. And I like the collarbone. I want to try to keep it showing. I don't know why I like it, but I do. Okay. We got a point in the design here. Where's the other point? Right there. And I'd like to, I wish she wasn't so pointy right there. I may wet it and try to flatten it just a tad after she dries. Now right here, I want this area to be pretty flat, because you know, that's where her arm was, and that's what gives her a lot of her mannequin shape. And right now I'm just going to fold that like that. As it starts hardening, really need it to go up a little bit. As it starts hardening, I'll make sure it keeps getting folded over whichever way I fold it. I don't know what normal darts. Okay, and see, now her neck, let me see if it's showing. Her neck kind of tilts up, and I took it outside pushing it down to see if I could use the heat gun to make her neck lay flat. And it had a crack in it. That's why Goodwill sold it, because it had a crack up there where the hanger is. Oh man, I should have took that hanger off. But anyway, they had the sticker on there for $3.99, and right beside it in magic marker it said not for sale. And I thought, okay, well it says two different things. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bug them. And I asked them, and it was for sale because it was cracked. Okay, and I want that flat on the bottom, and that gives me these little corners that are a problem. I can either fold them under, like that maybe. I may do that, just keep it simple. That other one I was cutting it, and you know, it's fabric. It's just gonna have to have folds is all I know. Okay, now this, I may have to cut that, because I'll have to work on her neck area. I don't know if I'll cut it now though. Let's just make sure we got the collarbones and the front of her neck looking pretty good. I don't know. It's going to leave me a lot of humps to deal with later. Let's turn her around. Can you still see her? No. If you hear water running, that's my cat's water dish. It's one of those that runs like a little waterfall thing. I don't know how to describe it. I'm going to cut it right through here. And it will be, you know, where the plastic shows, but that's okay. It can always be patched. And see, when I'm pulling here, I gotta always go back and make sure I haven't lifted it off her collarbones or something. And apparently I'm gonna have some folds here. Well, I don't want them on this part. I want flat. So all the little folds will have to go up this way. So all my extra fabric will have to be up here. I'm not gonna, well, no, that ain't gonna work. And I'm thinking about cutting it through here too. You know what? It ain't straight. I better make it straight. There we go. Of course, that will bend down. Well, yeah, don't that hump to deal with. I could round the design. Maybe that'll make life easier when I go to do that. I don't know. Probably not, but we can hope. So, which design did I cut around? Well, I'm way off on this one. Where I cut it at anyway. Just trying to slide off.
Hubba hubba.
My boyfriend likes it. Of course, he could have been talking about me. Oh, I should have said that too. I doubt it very seriously. Okay. Alright. And I'm going to let that dry, but as it's drying, I'm going to go and check the places that I want to keep detail, and it's going to take forever to dry. Okay, she should be dry good. She was sunbathing, and I had this little space heater aimed at her too. So I'm going to pull the fabric off. Once it started drying, I folded these edges up, and you know, I can do them like that to get it out, but I'm going to glue them up when I get it off. Okay. Hopefully it'll come off easy since it should be dry good. Maybe it won't. Oh, and you know what? You know that dark colored spot? It's on there. I saw it earlier. There's two of them, matter of fact. Oh my goodness, ain't that pretty? Other than the neck. I gotta work on the neck. But that looks so good, and it's stiff enough. I'm not putting anything on the outside of this one. Okay. So I've got to get her neck to do something. Okay, I don't know if it'll be included on here, so I'll tell you what I was doing. I had cut up through here to make the neck lay flatter. And I was going to shape it myself, and that did not work. I had to rip all the little patches I put in there out and put it back on this. But before I put it back on the plastic thing, I took it outside and heated that area with the heat gun. And then I pushed the neck down while I was holding the body down and got it where it lays a little flatter. So, you know, after I ripped all that patchwork out that I put, because it looked horrible. I should have showed you, I guess, before I took it apart. The neck was all skinny and square looking. It was just terrible. And so now I got it back on here. I repatched these little areas. And because her neck fabric doesn't cover the whole thing, it don't go all the way down, I'm going to, once these little patches dry, I'll cut this down so far. And then that little design will go right there, and then the flower will be on top of her neck. So that's how I'm going to disguise some of the patchiness and how I'm going to get the fabric to reach all the way down. And I'm going to have pleats or folds or something. I just got to figure out how to do them. But so I suggest, if you get your hands on one of these and you will make one of these, not to try to freehand the neck. Either have the neck sticking way up or try to heat it and get it to, you know, go down a little bit. There's still a gap. My grammar's terrible. There is still a gap. But it's a lot better than it was as far as not sticking up. Okay, now let's try to fix this neck. Again. Okay, I got some patchwork on it. That's finally dry. I gotta finish this thing where I can get it off my table. This ain't my crafting table, this is my dining room table. Okay. And see that patchwork? It don't look great, but now I know better than to do it the way I was doing it. So I'm gonna cut this right through here. Put my little hem back under it so that it don't mess up the, you know, where it sits. Okay, I've done the mixture more like a 70-30 ratio with the water being 30. I want it good and stiff. So, gotta get my flower right here in the center of the neck, right here. I don't know if you saw the flower. Uh-oh, about didn't leave it. Okay, yeah, it's long enough. Almost didn't leave it long enough on that side. Okay, and I gotta figure out where I want my pleats, because I'm gonna have pleats. And I don't really want to cut it and have to go through all that mess again. And see where I cut that, it kind of just leaves a little line so it'll have this area darker, the little collar look. So, you know what? I could run it on over there to cover up some of my patchwork. I guess I better not. That just caused me more problems probably when I have to redo it because it don't look right. Unfortunately, a lot of the neck's gonna be this stuff. And that stuff doesn't hold shape very good. Okay, I don't like all these pleats right here. Don't really want them on the front though. I think I'll kind of let's see. I'll worry about the folding it up under better when it's hardening some. Oh, my phone's telling me something. And that was sticking up a little bit there. Maybe this moisture will... I'll come back and poke that down as it's drying, because you have to keep coming back and poking stuff down. Alright. I think that'll work. I think that will look good, except for my one little patch that's obvious. Yeah. Anyway. It's a lot better than it was, I can tell you that. I wish I'd have showed y'all before I took it apart. Trying to do it freehand the neck. It didn't work. Might work for you, but it did not work for me. So we'll let this dry. I'll fold it under, and then I'll trim the excess off and take it off of that, and then figure out, because this, I ain't gonna be able to hang it or anything the way it is. It's too limp, you know. So I may have to cut a piece of foam board in that shape to put behind her and glue all the edges to the foam board. Figure out something. Okay, it's time to check out the neck. I've had this fan blowing on it. And I had went back and painted on a little bit of the glue and water mixture, but I didn't want to do it like I did that other one. Okay. Let's see what we got. Well, where am I going to put this? That looks so much better. Let me show you the end. And now I need to, I'll probably trace from the plastic mannequin. Trace on some foam board to, I'll glue these hems down. Is it showing? And then I'll put the foam board in here and just attach it there, probably with tacky glue. I am so pleased with that neck though. You know, it'll look better once I get all this hooked. Now right there. No, it ain't it. That ain't the worst one. Right there you can see my patch. Let me zoom in where you can see it good. Okay, right there. It's kind of obvious. I can leave it like it is and just hope everybody's okay with it. Whoever, you know, if I sell it, I don't know. Or I could do, not this flower, but I could do something like that to cover it up. Let me zoom back out this way. You know, just something like that, which that looks pretty good. Make it shabby chic. Anyway, I'll do the foam. I'll glue these down and attach it to the foam and maybe rig something up right there, and then I'll be back. Okay, I was fixing to glue the hem down and squish it together, and then I realized I'm going to cut this out. I traced the plastic mannequin. I'm going to cut it out, and then I can fold the hem on the back side of that. So that's what I'm up to. Okay. I've been up to some stuff. With this, I put all this, it's like a window sheer fabric in it. And I was misshaping her breast while I was doing that, so that's why I put it back there. And I've got these little LED lights that I put all over this. And when I put this over this without the fabric in it, it just glowed too much. I'll see if I can find a picture on my phone to show you. Okay, there's a picture where I put the LED lights all across just the border of the body, and I wasn't too wild about that. And this is the lights without the fabric on top of them. It looks pretty good, but they're just a little too bright. And this is with a LED night light from Dollar Tree at the bottom. It was okay, but not great because the top don't light up much. And this is with a little LED clip-on reading light, like you'd clip to your book or something. Put at the bottom of it. And that's with that same Dollar Tree reading light clipped at the top. That looks pretty good, really. And this is with one of those like Christmas lights you set up in the window, like a little light bulb on it. It looks okay. It don't light up evenly. And so that kind of diffuses the light, makes it look better. I just took a hot glue gun and glued it in places. And this is one of those that goes into like a phone charger thing, but that's what I had, so that's what I used. And oh, now right here, well, you can't really see, but I'd run the needle in, you know, I did a little knot thing on here, and then I'd run the needle in through that side and then back up, and then I'd skip way over. You can't really see the thread. Here's a thread. You know, I'd skip way over and do it again just to hold this fabric in place where it all don't, you know, if somebody had it hanging on the wall, don't the fabric all sink into the bottom. And I wanted to keep it, you know, going out to the edges. So I did that to that. And now, I guess I will glue this little hem that's on here to the back of this foam board and put it together and show it to you, and hopefully it'll look beautiful. Hopefully. I got to wondering, how am I going to keep from messing up her breast even worse? So I'm going to put this over her while I'm gluing this to the foam board. Maybe that'll help. And this is the type of hanger I'm going to put on the back of it. It's got these little teeth. I had to steal it off a little painting I got. And so I'll stick the teeth in, but first I'll cover that with hot glue. And just stick it in the foam. Okay, but I got to bend this circle part back a little bit or it'll be flush against the foam. So I'll just use my pliers or something to bend it. Ta-da! Got it bent. Okay, and here's how she looks on the back. I still got it sitting in that plastic form. And I've took notes. Cut a slit for that. And leave your hem longer. It'll be easier to work with. If I'd have found myself gluing this on, it would have been so entertaining with all the screens. Oh, I burned myself so bad. And I was thinking maybe trim it after you fold it over, but I'd just leave it a lot longer. That'd give you more room to, because you don't want it to squish out and go around to the front, which it might have in some places. I ain't really checked it. And you'll need finger protectors, especially with this open kind of fabric. All I had was those silicone cupcake things. It worked though. Okay, and I tried it on low setting on the heat gun, but it needed high setting. Wouldn't stick good otherwise. And if you have a stiff corner just poking up really high, you could just snip it off. Put a little glue over it or something. Okay. And don't put your glue too close to this edge, because like I said, it squish around to the front. So the longer hem would be better. Okay. Let's see what this says. Okay. Now if you reach a spot where it's in a bind, like a thick folded area maybe, you can always, once you get that stuck pretty good, but you don't want to keep working around it because you might undo it, just switch to the other side and work. And okay. I like my hangers high on anything, because that way when I hold it up to the wall, you know, the hanger's basically where I want my nail, you know. But somebody goes to hang this, they might be hanging it, you know, the nail might be hanging up on the glue and they think they got it on the hanger. So plus with longer hem I'd need it lower, so that's something to think about. Because say your hem is this low, you don't want your hanger right there. You know, maybe put the hanger down here somewhere between the shoulders. That way, that'd give somebody a good way to know about where to hold it on the wall to hang it. One thing I noticed is a big boo-boo, of course. But I know better next time. Okay, you know how the neck doesn't lay completely flat against the table? Well, this foam is completely flat. And I didn't want to pull on the foam where I originally had all this fabric folded. So I kind of just loosely, you know, I didn't tug. I just glued some hem back, but the neck looks a little strange because of that. So that's something to allow for. Either get your form where it does lay this form where it does lay completely flat, or leave extra fabric hanging here. I don't know, but it looks okay. It's just not perfect. Ta-da! There she is. Ain't it pretty? Let me get a little closer. And it makes the designs show up so good. The flowers and all. Now over here, you can see that fabric that I put in there didn't cover these lights. And they're a little bit bright. But other than that, I think it looks good. You know, I talked about getting that product stiffy, and I'm just wondering if the hem, you know, if it actually works good and the hem gets really stiff, if you'd be able to fold it around the back. I don't know, but anyway, that's something to think about. Okay, now let me cut the light on and I'll show you. See, I really would want the fabric to cover that, but I'm not going to redo it. And all the things I point out to y'all, I wouldn't point out to everybody. Like if I have it hanging in my house somewhere, I ain't going to go pointing all that out. But I'm just wanting to show y'all, you know, how to avoid certain mistakes. And it would look better with all that loose fabric glued to the board loosely, you know, over the lights, and that way you'd know that you got all the lights covered. Plus she wouldn't be darker in certain areas, I don't guess. I don't know, which that's fine with me. But I wanted to show you on her neck, it's actually a little crooked. Apparently I tugged more. I probably done this side first. Yeah, I did. And you can see that little dent, but it still looks good. But you know, if I would have allowed, I don't know, I think allowing more fabric, but you'd still have that ridge. You might just have to tilt your foam up, I don't know, to match the tilt of the mannequin. But the way I've got it, it's just all against the wall. And I'm going to show you what I did. Okay, now you got to secure the this in good. You know, maybe run it back and forth a little bit in there and put a good bit of hot glue. I think I got mine secured good, but I'm using a 50-foot drop cord. because I'm in my hallway. So I did that where all that weight wouldn't be pulling on it because that's a heavy drop cord. What else? Oh, and this thing, it'll set to do all kind of weird stuff. There's one setting. And that one looks about like the other one to me. And that one. You know, I got that burgundy lace fabric. Oh, that's psychedelic. That might make a pretty Christmas one with lights in it. Oh wow, I don't know what that is. I like the just steady light myself, or the fading in and out. I think that's pretty too. Yeah. Well, that one don't fade out slow enough, but I could not stand that very long. And then there's steady, I think. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think, and let me know if you're going to try to make one. You can order those, I'm sure, offline. It's just I'm cheap, so I got mine for $3.99. The form that I used. But anyway, let me know if you think it's pretty. I think it is. I love it. Look at that. Ain't that so pretty? Y'all be sure to subscribe too. I'm all time coming up with something crazy. If you haven't seen my Franken leg, check it out. It's another mannequin type deal. And there's the flower on top of the neck. Anyway. Bye y'all. Alright, I said bye y'all.